This video is going to be a beginner's guide to what I view are the easiest and hardest characters to play in each role. So we're going to pick 2 from the tanks and 2 from the supports as being easiest and hardest, and then we'll pick more for the damages. For the damages, I'm going to do either 3 or 4. So basically, if you're looking for a good way to start as a beginner, we'll go with the easiest characters. And if you're more of a veteran who wants to learn to perfect their skills, we're going to talk about the hardest. All the characters have their own individual levels that the game rates, but realistically, let's start with the easiest. So the tank category is the first category we're going to start with. And if you look at the available options at tank, the 8 available options for tank, in my opinion, the easiest tank to learn would be Orisa. Orisa is a very basic tank in that her kit just revolves around throw down shield, shoot, you use Fortify for crowd control abilities, and extra damage reduction, and pull in order to pull into your team's ultimate abilities. The hardest component with Orisa is learning how to properly use your shield to push your team where they need to go, more than anything. And learning proper ultimate placement. This is bad ultimate placement. Put it behind a shield. Even that's really bad ultimate placement, but it could be better. At the beginning tank, she's very hard to mess up because all you have to do is just really to get value out of is just throw your shields properly and hold down the attack button. The second easiest tank, in my opinion, is gonna seem relatively odd. Realistically, the second easiest tank would be Sigma. Now, I say Sigma because Sigma is a character that can get a lot of value. He does a lot of damage. His shield takes some practice getting used to, as does a cooldown management, not blowing all of your cooldowns at one time. But Sigma has enough versatility to where he can be a good tank to just pick up and learn right away. If you can learn Sigma very early on, you can go far. And the reason why I chose Sigma over other tanks is because other tanks are not quite as reliant on positioning. He has his shield to defend his team if need be and to block certain abilities. He has his kinetic grasp to block certain abilities and keep himself alive. He has rock for shutting down other abilities or just for adding extra damage. His projectile is not particularly hard to hit. You just gotta learn how to bounce them. And the hardest thing with him is learning how to manage your shield cooldown realistically. So Sigma to me is the next choice. And the reason why I chose Sigma over some of the other tanks, one would say Reinhardt or Roadhog, is because while Roadhog is mechanically not that hard. Roadhog, for example, you just shoot, hook, melee, and heal. There's not a lot of mechanics to him. Hog as an individual does require decent amount of mechanical aid, because anybody can just hook and shoot. Better hogs take more practice than that, especially learning team comps. So, for the hardest tanks in the game to learn, probably the obvious choice for the hardest tank would be Ball. Ball is a character that gets a lot of value as a flank character, but you have to learn how he's most effective. You have to learn spots on the map where you can do cheeky rollouts and how to save yourself, things of that nature. He's a character with a lot of mechanical skill involved that not a lot of players really get used to. Interestingly enough, the next tank that I'm going to say is the hardest tank to play is Reinhardt. And I say this because Reinhardt requires a mental adjustment. Again, like Roadhog, Reinhardt's kit of holding shield, holding hammer, occasionally fire striking, and charging gets a lot of value. And it's not particularly hard to do. It's not hard to hold a shield. It's not hard to swing a hammer. The real problem is the Reinhardt community as a whole is kind of split. See, there's 2 types of Reinhardts. There are the full dive Reinhardts that I don't have a shield. I just go and swing my hammer. Oh no, I'm dying. Why am I dying? And then there's the shield bot Reinhardts that... My shield. I got my shield up, guys. Shield's up, guys. Guys, shields up. Guys, shields up. Shield. Look at the shield. Guys, look at the shield. Shield's up. You see the shield? See the shield? Oh, my shield's broken! No! Swing wildly! Swing wildly! And then dies. So, there's a reason why Reinhardt, to me, is a harder tank to play. Okay, I have to kill him now. Reinhardt requires, to me, more mental sense for learning how to play. Now, there could be an argument made on D.Va, by the way, as being a relatively hard tank, but that's just for defense matrix, like learning how to use defense matrix properly to block abilities. You could make, we already talked about Hog. You could make an argument for Winston because most Winstons just feed. They literally just jump in, shoot, 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 blow their bubble. Now they have no way to get out. They have no cooldown on jump. They have no shield. It's just like, oh, they're gonna die. But you can work with that sometimes. And Zarya, well, you could say that, oh, Zarya's a hard tank to learn. Not really. You just have to learn how to manage your urges. It's just like, I need to bubble somebody, then I'm gonna shoot, and then we'll be fine. So, in my opinion, if you're looking for a tank to, like, master, Reinhardt is the hardest. If you're looking for a tank to master, Sigma's the easiest. And then, obviously, like, for beginners, Orisa's your best tank if you're starting. Ball is the worst tank. Going over to support, I'm picking two as well. So, the easiest support in the game to learn, in my opinion, for support, is going to be Moira. Because Moira is a pure heal. This is probably not a controversial statement. You do damage, right? And then you heal. And you have healing orbs. You spam that, you spam that. And everything about her kit is designed to keep you alive. You know, look, I'm not dying. Look, I'm shooting. Look, I'm shooting. Look, I'm healing. It's like, her kit is not complicated to the point where beginners. I think resource management is really like the biggest issue that she has. So I think Moira is probably the easiest to learn. If you want to talk about the hardest support in the game to learn, in my opinion, it's Zenyatta. Zenyatta seems like he's not a hard support to learn because you just throw Discord Orb, you shoot, things die, and you randomly throw a heal out. In my opinion, he's the hardest, so he is a mechanical aim-dependent character. You need to learn when to use Charge Shot. You need to learn how to appropriately Discord Orb. Like, this right here is not an effective strategy. Like, you can't just, I'm gonna throw Discord on a tank and then proceed to shoot somebody else. You need to maximize your value, right? Say that you can't just throw your heal on one person, and it's like, oh, I'll just use trans and save everybody else. I just pocket one person all game long. That's a very ineffective way to play Zenyatta, and it really does not get you a lot of value as a whole. Another issue I see with Zenyatta players, which I have to show off in a minute. Double kill. Oh, I'm taking damage! Trans. And blow your, one of the best utility ults in the game for healing. As I, oh yeah. So, now, the easiest support in the game to master is probably going to be Lucio. Lucio is not a mechanically hard hero to master. He's very easy to play. You know, your healing is all passive. Your speed is the main thing. And I think you see the difference between high and low level Lucios really is just how they use their amp it up. Because a low level Lucio is going to use their amp it up more for the boost and the healing, which is a good idea, but it's not necessarily like a requirement. And then you compare this to a higher ranked Lucio who's using their speed boost as a way to get their team into position, then going back to heal song and providing some good solid support. I mean, Lucio is a character who's based around crowd control mostly, with his boops, his wall ride. He does decent amount of damage. Realistically, most of it is learning how to wall ride and how to speed boost properly. So mechanically, he becomes the easiest one to master. The hardest one to master, in my opinion, becomes Mercy. And I say this because a lot of Mercy players have a tendency to just, ah, yes, I am the designated heal bot. My job is to heal, 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 particularly on tank-based characters. Or you get the flip side of, oh, my job is to damage, 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 which, while these are both effective, learning how to properly balance these abilities and learning how to properly bounce between multiple targets, using your Guardian Angel in order to keep multiple targets alive at a time, and knowing when to pull out your pistol and do some damage, because Mercy can do a significant amount of damage. Also, not rezzing out in the open, but hey, I mean, that's like every Mercy player. Mercy becomes is not a mechanically challenged hero to play, but because she, like Reinhardt, requires a lot of brain sense, is one of those characters that people not a lot of times will play. For the damage roll, we're going to split this up into multiples. So we're talking about characters that are the top 3 characters that are hard to play, and the top 3 that are the easiest to play. So the easiest character to play in general is Torbjorn. Torbjorn does not require a lot of work in order to play. He gets a lot of value off of this. You literally just throw out a turret and you shoot. He has no complexity to his kit other than I throw out my turret, I shoot, I hit things, overload for the attack boost and the armor, because it boosts your attack output and it gives you armor. The hardest part of Torbjorn's kit, being honestly speaking, is just aiming your shots. Like, learning how to aim your shots. Yeah. He's easy to play. Now, the hardest hero to master is Doomfist. Okay? Doomfist is mechanically not as challenging as a hero as one would expect. It's not hard to play him, and his kit is very easy to work with. Doomfist, however, have a high tendency to feed. Like, this is not that hard to do. However, comboing like that effectively, time and time again, is hard. It's not hard to do that. And it's not hard to just, I'm gonna punch you! But now you have no escape abilities, and it's like, I need to get away! Oh, I'm a sitting duck! Oh, why did I do that? So, Doomfist, in my opinion, is that. The easiest character in the game to master is Reaper. Reaper has one thing about him that makes him difficult. Because his damage isn't difficult, you just walk up to people and shoot them. His sustain isn't that difficult, because you heal off of your sustain. Survivability is not a problem, because he has Wraith. It's literally just learning how to teleport. Learning how to teleport effectively, without giving away your position. And learning how to poke, because that does nothing. And obviously that's going to be good, but like, okay, I can poke at this range, and I can poke at this range, but that's not ideal, because I'm not aiming high. He is one of the easier characters to master in the game. The hardest character of the damages in the game to play, in my opinion, has to be Hanzo. Hanzo is a mechanically challenging character. He is a precision projectile character. You can't just rapid fire. Rapid fire doesn't work. You can't, like, semi-charge. Like this. This does not net a lot of value. You can't just walk around like that. right? You're not getting a lot of value doing that. You're better off playing another character. His Storm Arrows is oftentimes like just an easy crutch to like, I'm just gonna kill something quick. Storm Arrows is his ult is easy to dodge if you don't know how to properly control it. And Sonic Arrow, if you're not using it effectively, you're just revealing stuff out in the open that doesn't help. Like this right here doesn't help anybody. This doesn't reveal anything. I can literally move to the left or right and see that. So his overall kit is an interesting one. Because he does have high potential. High kill potential. Especially if you can aim.
Double kill. Double kill. Triple kill.
So much.
Double kill. Double kill. Triple kill.
Perfect.
Double kill. Triple kill. Quadruple kill.
I missed my timing on that. Enough screwing around with Hanzo. Like, that's effective right there. But the real issue with Hanzo is that most characters don't learn that aim mechanic. They're like fire, like, I am high. I'm aiming high. Why am I hitting? Why am I hitting? Oh, look, I hit him. But it's not fully charged. So he gets a reaction time. Now, for the last two heroes that I want to mention a character that seems easy, but isn't easy to play. That would be Symmetra. Symmetra is a character that seems very easy, and indeed she is kind of brain dead because you literally just walk up to a target, hold down the fire button, and watch as your beam gets stronger and stronger, and you get these nice little teleporters that you just whip out here. And everything just melts, right?
Sentry turret placed.
And you have your alternate fire, which is relatively hard to learn early on. The real thing, in my opinion, is learning how to use her teleporters effectively. If you don't use your teleporters effectively, if you just do something dumb like this, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna teleport. Oh, look at that, I teleported. Yay, I'm teleporting. Wow, this is fun. But you're not doing anything. And a lot of Symmetra players don't know how to effectively place their mine. They just place them in doorways randomly like, oh, I'll just throw this up here and that'll catch somebody. Well, who's it going to catch? Is it going to catch the Winston that jumped up there? That's about it. She's a character that is brain dead if you play her in, like, the one design philosophy of the character. Which is, look. Look at me, I can hold down a button and do a lot of damage. But if you play her like how she's supposed to be as more of a support character back in the days when she was a support, she's a lot harder to play. A character that I think everyone says is very hard to play, but it's actually quite easy. Sombra is a character that people either say is like brain dead because you just walk up to people, you go stealth, you walk up to somebody, you hack them, and you shoot. Or you get the people that are like, oh my god, Sombra is so hard because, you know, every time I go to teleport, somebody's camping my teleport pad and oh shit, I'm dead. Or, man, I keep getting spotted in invisibility and it's like, it seems like there's always a Hanzo when I'm playing her. I mean, mechanically she's not hard. The real value to Sombra is in that her utility to shut down characters. Like, I'm gonna stop this Tracer from being able to run away, and I'm gonna kill her. You know, I'm gonna shut down the entire team and do some easy damage. And I can get in and get out of trouble whenever I want, as long as I learn how to manage my abilities. The problem I think a lot of Sombra players have is they think they have to do this massive, mega impactful, look, I'm hacked the Reinhardt 4 times in a row. And it gets to the point where the Reinhardt is like, okay, I'm not even going to bother with my shield. I'm just going to sit here and swing hammer. And as soon as that Reinhardt player, say this is your Reinhardt, starts swinging at you, you just start panicking and going, oh no, he's coming after me now. He's focusing me. Realistically, you just need to change your approach. The last shout out I want to mention randomly is for all the people out there that say that Echo is both a broken character or that Echo is a very challenging character. There is not a lot challenging about L2 or 1 back to back. There is also not a lot that is easy about playing her as a knockoff Pharah flying around randomly shooting projectiles. Just because hit scans got nerfed does not make her meta. The fact that she's broken makes her meta. But, anyways, that is my short little tutorial guide for y'all on easy and hard